made the big plays when they were there, made a lot of little plays in the game, didn't really make any critical errors in the game, and obviously showed up, throwing it and running it throughout at the critical moments.
So it was a case of the tables being turned, Dallas giving the Seahawks a taste of their own medicine, outrushing them 164 to 73 yards. In the run game for the Cowboys, that was really the big factor in this one, Willie. I need you to give us a breakdown of some of these turning points.
Yeah, well, the Cowboys, and you talk about them being able to run the ball. You talking about the Cowboys or the Colts?
Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, the Dallas Cowboys, okay. Cowboys. So you talk about certain plays that they did to be able to run the ball, establish a line of scrimmage. They were able to do that in running the ball. So when you watch the tape and you see some of the stuff that they did, it was Zeke, and it's good Dak. So, okay, I'll go to the Cowboy clicker because my producers in my ear saying, give you guys the illustration, so I'm going to show you. So right here, this is just a straight block right here. And when you watch this, let me give it back to you. We call this the UA quarterback blast, right?
Yeah.
Okay. UA, he's going to come on the outside. He's going to seal. You're going to see these guys go down and watch. And Dak pretty much does all the work himself. You give him the ball, you put the ball in his hands. He's going to read it. He's going to make a good cut. Watch the cut. He's going to let all these guys get hat on hat. He's going to make a great cut, make a great play right here, and he runs it in. So when you talk about making plays with your feet, you got to be able to do that. There he goes again. Nothing there. Watch the vision. Why is it pausing? Okay, there we go. Sometimes it happens. Nothing there right now. Every once in a while, a lot of times. There's nothing there. It's 3rd and 14. He makes a quick decision. The moral of the story is when there's nothing there, times early in the season or maybe last year, you would go into a game and Dak would panic probably in the pocket. He would try to do something. He would struggle. He would throw the ball when tight in the coverage or when it's a double, somebody's getting doubled. What he did here in today's game is when there was nothing there outside of the design quarterback runs, what he did was he tucked the ball. He didn't make the mistake. He threw one turnover, which probably wasn't one interception, probably wasn't his fault. But he made a concrete decision to take off with the ball and just use his feet instead of trying to throw into a coverage.
Well, when you get to I was gonna say, when you get to the playoffs for Dak, it's all about not making mistakes, right? It's about going out there and understanding your game plan, what you're trying to do, and now don't worry about the other team. The playoffs is not about who you're facing; it's about what you can do and how you can execute. And Willie, you hit it right there. The quarterback runs, the tucking and going, the making sure not making bad decision. Now, there's a couple throws that you may want back, but they weren't turnover throws, and you're able to punt the ball away and let your defense get back on the field and give you better field position. He played a phenomenal game today. There's some throws that he wanted to come back, but he wanted to get back, but other than that, he really did a great job.
He did enough to win. He did more than enough to win. And in games like this, big-time games like this, you can't turn the ball over. You can't have self-inflicted. You can't have penalties. You can't make big mistakes because the other teams will take advantage of it. On the other side of the ball, Seattle, they did. They hurt themselves in a lot of different ways. The Dallas Cowboys didn't. They didn't make as many mistakes. And off of Seattle mistakes, they turned them into points.
Yeah, Dak Prescott getting the Cowboys their first postseason win since 2014, sending Pete Carroll to 9-6 in the postseason as the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. And oh, by the way, he's getting paid $11 million a season. Conversions and attempts, flawless 6 for 6, and yards per play, 7.7, just a skosh under 8, and that's part of the reason why they look so good.
Yeah, he enjoys seeing me off my game with the
It happens so rarely.
But you like
Willie McGinnis,
don't you agree?
off of his game.
You really enjoy
exactly.
it, though.
But speaking of a unit that was not off their game, it's the Colts' offensive line. We know Andrew Luck sacked only 18 times this season.
He was.
That O-line, they came to play once again.
Well, coming into this game, I said this was the key matchup. You got a really good defensive line and linebackers with the Texans versus one of the best O-lines in the game. They're running the football and protection. So when you watch this play, this is on the goal line right here. And I said, if you do not play good technique against this offensive line, these type of plays will happen. It's an overload. It's the jumbo package. It's 12 personnel, 2 tight ends are back. And they're just saying, our guys are stronger than you, and we're going to maul you. You cannot swim. You cannot make those type of plays. Here's a trap play right here. They're going to go up with the center and get the linebacker. They're going to down block with the guard, and then they're going to bring the other guard and pull. And it's a huge lane right here. You see it, hat on hat. Everybody's blocked, and then Mac does the rest. You cannot play like that against them. Look at the pocket against him right here. Here's great protection. That's all built on what? Those 2 plays we just saw. The play action. If you're not running the ball effectively, then you can't you can't call play action. It just doesn't work. Yep. Nobody believes you. So the ability to run the ball, control the line of scrimmage, and then pull it, and of course Luck making some really nice throws down the field, open things up for their offense.
Yeah, I mean, to see the way they came off the bus, right? Because we're not going to talk about it, but T.Y. Hilton
in the clown mask.
He wasn't playing.
Yeah,
he already said that Houston was his second home. Then they called him a clown, so then he tripled down.
He has a P.O. box in Houston at last look.
And I think that's huge. But not only did the Colts offense show up, the Colts defense showed up. Now, I get it. Me and Willie are going to switch turns because he's going to talk about offense.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about defense. But it's about protecting your quarterback. And we have here the Colts. Look, they're showing there's the double A gap they're showing. But they're going to bring this nickel blitz. Deshaun Watson, what are we doing? You got to see that. You got to be able to get off. Now here, the same thing again. But the running back picks it up. But as a running back, when you see this nickel coming, you have to set an edge. You can't allow this nickel, this DB to drive you back. Lamar Miller gets driven back, forces the bad pass. That's what happens. You had opportunities in this game to make plays. But this defense for the Colts showed up, and they had some timely pressures that got to the quarterback and forced some throws.
Colts, Chiefs, that one going down Saturday, 4:35, coming out of the East. It should be good come divisional weekend, and we will be here by Mercedes-Benz. We're going to begin in the Windy City with the nightcap going down. Wild Card Sunday, the Chicago Bears rolling out that red carpet for the defending world champion Philadelphia Eagles. When it comes to this one, and you look at these teams and their road to Atlanta, who's going to continue on that path, MJD?
Well, you know, I'm going with the Eagles, and the reason being, I know, Cole, you're a Chicago fan, but it's no hate to you.
See how he does?
It has nothing to do with you.
I'm sure it's not.
It really does.
None at all.
It's that RPO. For some reason, the more I watch it, the more I get concerned for aggressive defenses, because if you blitz, he'll hand it off and there's the seams. If you sit back and wait, he'll pull it out and he'll be able to throw it. And Nick Foles has done a phenomenal job with that. Early in the year, he wasn't throwing the ball that much because he was handing off because teams were trying to blitz, take the pass away. But he's been stepping up, making some huge plays. And offensively, Alshon Jeffrey with the contested catches, the jump ball, I mean, he's been making huge plays. Aguilar, you know, I don't like to say his name all the time because he went to the other school, like Willie.
USC.
But
they fight on.
He's been making plays. I don't want to hear all that stuff. But again, Nick Foles been playing well. And then let's talk about this defense a little bit too. Their defense has done a phenomenal job getting the ball back to this offense, creating turnovers, getting pressure on quarterbacks and stopping the run. That to me is something that we really haven't looked at. Fletcher Cox and them boys are playing well right now.
Okay, so the Eagles, they will look to stay on the road to Atlanta, as we said, presented by Mercedes-Benz, but that's not the only game that's going down Wild Card Sunday, because of the early game. We know how that one's looking to shake out. The Baltimore Ravens and the second-ranked run offense in the National Football League up against Phil Rivers and the Los Angeles Chargers. Willie, one of these teams are looking to stay on the road. We're going to hear from you in just a second, but first up, Melvin Gordon. He's looking to be all systems go, but he's not very well received in the Charm City with ride-sharing drivers.
What do you think?
So you think the Ravens going to the Super Bowl?
Oh, man, no, listen. You see the enthusiasm and the motivation.
What that mean?
They're playing as a team.
So what about the Chargers? You don't think the Chargers are going to be
hell no. You don't listen. Phillip Rivers, you don't even have to worry about it.
Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer.
Listen, that don't make no difference. This guy's a Heisman Trophy winner. Okay, you here to see Phil Rivers tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I got to go see Phillip Rivers play.
Okay, well, listen. I'm going to pull for Phil Rivers to get up off the ground, okay? So they're going to put him on the ground.
Well, I'm Melvin Gordon, man. I'm the running back for the Chargers, man.
You're a running back?
I'm the running back for the Chargers, man.
Give me a card. Are you just telling me that?
I'm being honest. I'm being completely honest with you.
You're a running back for the
I'm the running back for the Chargers.
Here, sign this right here, fella.
Well, you know what they say.
Like
they keep it real in Baltimore. Right?
All the way.
The driver right there keeping it 100 with Melvin Gordon right there. But how do the Chargers or the Ravens stay on the road to Atlanta, Willie?
Well, first, the Ravens, everybody knows the big story is Lamar Jackson and his running game, and it's design runs. It's the way they're running the ball, just not zone reads. Sometimes they'll give you 3 backs in the backfield. Sometimes they'll give you 2. A lot of creativity when it comes to that. Lamar Jackson is making good decisions, and they're giving him a little bit more on his plate as far as the passing game. Now, on the other side of the ball, one of the most feared defenses in the league. Physical, they'll take the ball away, they'll hit you in the mouth. That's the Ravens, okay? So you talk about the Ravens defense and what you need to do. Historically, against these type of defenses in the past, teams have spread them out. Do not let them load the box. When you let them load the box, you see all the movement, the disguises, the safeties going up and down. You spread them out. The Chargers have the personnel Melvin Gordon, we just saw him. Ty Williams, Mike Williams, Eckler, all these different guys. Woods, Keenan Allen. They got all these different weapons. Spread them out. Dictate the offense. When you spread guys out or defenses out, you make them identify. You make them run up to the guy that they're covering or point them out. You can't disguise. You can't play around because the ball's coming out. So you got to be able to dictate, not be afraid of that. You don't have to get chunk plays every single play. Be okay with getting 5 yards here, 4 yards here. Continue to move the chains. Once you get them thinking and moving around and you get a snapshot of what they're in, then mix it up on them. But you can't give them a single look, the same look every single time because they'll tear you apart.
All right, we're going to have to wait till tomorrow to watch both of those games that these cats were just chatting about. But until then, there's other business to tend to because be sure to make your voice heard in Nationwide's 3rd annual Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Charity Challenge. You can post hashtag WPMOY-challenge and your favorite nominee's last name on social media until January 13th. Now, Nationwide, they're going to award the nominee with the most hashtag mentions an additional $25K donation to the charity of his choice. $10,000 to the runner-up and $5,000 to the 3rd place finisher. So that's good stuff. And how about Commissioner Roger Goodell making one Cowboys superfan's dreams come true? Stoney and Diana Kirsch needed to remodel their home in Arlington, Texas, just to fit more Cowboys memorabilia. Now, Stoney has decorated every inch of their house with Dallas hats, buttons, jerseys, and bobbleheads. And Commissioner Goodell now sending the couple to Super Bowl 53 in the ATL. Now, after tonight's win against the Seahawks, the Kirsches are hoping to see their Cowboys.
That's, man, just in general. So playing like it or not, I'll take the compliment. But, yeah, I mean, obviously it felt good tonight. Just everybody worked well together, and we can do that. It just makes my job easier.
He's an elite quarterback. I mean, I think so. He's been doing it for us all year, and the bigger the moment, the better he plays, and that's what you want from your leader. And, he's as vocal as any guy I've ever seen, and he's an easy guy to follow.
I mean, I got a lot of confidence in us. We've been on a roll. We're playing really good football. Obviously, winning a playoff game, very important. Gets us one step closer, so I'm confident.
Well, despite the effort, Russell Wilson, 18 of 27, a touchdown and a rushing touchdown, not able to get it done for his Seattle Seahawks, as we told you earlier, and many times this hour, 24-22, the final score in Dallas. And Russell Wilson, as he always does, a professional addressing the media.
It was an amazing season, for us. Everybody played together. Nobody thought we'd be where we were and where we are. We did. We believed that, and we worked for everything. Unfortunately, only one team was able to win tonight, and it wasn't us. And the thing I reflect on is how we came together, how we played for each other all season, how we kept believing in one another, how when everybody thought we were down and out early on, we just kept fighting and kept practicing the right way. We kept playing the right way, and I've said this to you guys in training camp that this team really reminded me of the 2012 team. Just how we were.
So the Dallas Cowboys win by 2 points. The Colts, they win by 2 scores. Final thought, real quick.
Well, great season by the Seahawks, but Dallas had a little bit too much.
No.